At ease. It's your boy Soul Immortal. Brothers and sisters, today I want to talk about becoming the CEO of your mind, right? Now, I know that sounds like extremely, cliche, but here over the last, 30 or so days, I'm really understanding what that really means, right? So, last month, toward the end of the month, I made the post about, finally making that move from going from the workforce to being, full-time entrepreneur. And a lot of things have taken place since then, as far as like things that I've been exposed to or things that I've seen primarily about myself, right? And, so that first week after I made that transition, I really just wanted to just lay low and just reacclimate, acclimate to a new environment, a new way of life, man. So I just took a few days off, chilled out, spent a few days with my son or whatever. And then that following week is when I began to kind of take care of business, get my new medical set up and roll over 401ks and all that type stuff. Now, during this week, I received phone calls from three, I'll say influential people in my life. Two of them were very successful YouTubers that I'm sure you know, and one was an author, a friend that does a lot of writing, right? And I talked to all three of these people, over the course of a few days, and after talking to all of them, I realized that there was one thing that all of them had in common, because all of them were giving me, feedback on how to move, on how to do this, what to be aware of, but all of them spoke of discipline. All of them hit on discipline hard. And I was just thinking about that. I said, they all said different things, but this is the one thing that they all said, right? So in my mind, I was thinking, I'm a very disciplined person. I was a sergeant in the military. I said, when I drive, for the most part, I'm driving the speed limit. Growing up in school, when the teacher said walk on a single file line, like I was disciplined enough to know to do the right thing. But what I found out very quickly was when they were talking about discipline, what they're really talking about was self-discipline. And I really didn't know that there was a difference before a few weeks ago, So the thing is, like when a person, or what I found like is when a person is in a situation, whether you're working for an employer, whether you're being governed by state laws, whether you're being, listening to your teacher, it's a different kind of discipline when it's coming from the outside, and there's a form of punishment if you don't do the right thing, right? Like that's one form of discipline. But what does a person do when there's no enforcer of laws? What does a person do when everything is on him or her and it's just a must that they go through with things, right? So what I found out during this second week of me, taking care of business, I quickly realized that every day I woke up felt like a Saturday. It got to the point where I didn't even know what day it was. Every day felt like a weekend, and I was like, man, like this feels good. But within a day or two of feeling that, I said, you know what? This is very dangerous. Because at that point is when I understood what they were saying as far as discipline. Because, there was nobody there to say, you know what? This is what you need to be doing. You need to be working on your book. You need to be doing that. There was no enforcer like I was used to. I was used to, having deadlines and having reports in by Friday, close of business, having other reports in by Monday morning. It was just a different lifestyle that I had to get adjusted to. So what I had to do was literally become, the CEO of my mind. In other words, I had to create a whole new identity, a whole new entity in my mind to govern myself. You know what I'm saying? So quickly, my life went from every day feeling like a Saturday to every day feeling like a Tuesday, which put me in position to be productive, 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? And when I say CEO of my mind, I mean, I had to literally change up my daily rituals, man, because normally, my day was set concrete for the last, I don't know how many years. I would get up early in the morning before sunrise. I would do my meditation. I would read a little bit. I would go study, and I would get to work, and I would work several hours, and I would everything had to change. And it just, it just exposed a lot about myself. Areas that I thought I was super strong in, just removing that governing force of having an employer. I had no idea that I put so much security or so much of myself into that. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was in much more control than I was. But again, it's been an enlightening time, right? So again, I had to change my rituals up, man. So when I say I'm the CEO of my mind, like my morning meditations are completely different. Where I would normally get up in the mornings and focus on my visualization, my experience in future events. Like I still do that, but my morning ritual is completely different. It's like in the mornings now when I get up and I'm in my mind and I'm meditating, it's almost like I'm having a meeting with myself. It's almost like I'm reporting to myself. And this is what I see every single morning, right? So I just see myself walking down this long hall. And in each, when I look to the left, there are offices on the left. I don't know how this came up, but this is what I'm seeing every morning. And every office is an energy. One is about my health. One is about like my spirituality. One is about things that I need to do that day, tasks. One is about, just all areas. And my whole morning ritual is walking down this hall, and I always turn left and I take one step in this room. Now there's no one in there, but there's just a strong energy. And all I'm doing is holding myself accountable. I'm seeing where I'm at in these areas, and I'm setting the bar. I'm saying, you know what? This is where I am. This is where I need to be. And after I make my trip down the hallway on each thing, I come out of my meditation, and now, it's around 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm having to write down all the reports that I got from myself. And now during the day is when I start lining these things up and knocking them out. And it's weird because before, I just felt like I had enough, self-control to move a different way. But I'm telling you guys, becoming the CEO of your mind is literal. It is literal. You really have to create a different entity and report to that entity, as a governing force. And another thing that I realized, man, that came up was I had no idea that being in a situation where I had fallen up under a form of leadership for so long. I'm going back to my first job as a teenager. I had no idea, man, that there was so much spiritual energy, good and bad, mainly bad, that was attached to me because of that. You know what I'm saying? So when I removed that governing force, man, it really exposed a lot of my energy. It kind of showed me a lot of blockages. It showed me where I had limiting beliefs. It showed me where I had not as much confidence as I thought I had. It just exposed a lot of things, guys. And I reached out to a very good friend of mine, man. She's a spiritual healer. And just talking to her, before I even brought all this stuff up, she could see it. She could feel it. She was like, you know what? I can feel that you're blocked in this area, this area. She told me stuff about myself that I never shared with anybody, going, years back. And we settled that, man. So it all comes back to becoming the CEO or the CEOs of our minds. Again, that sounds so cliche. It sounds so cliche, but it's so literal. It's so literal. We have to take control of our minds. Now, I have so much to talk about now, man. Like I had no idea that there was so much I wanted to share with you, brothers and sisters. I had no idea, because there's a lot of stuff that I think about that I assume everybody knows, or there are some things that have taken place in my life that have made huge changes that I just don't share. And now I'm understanding why I don't share. A lot of the reason I don't share is because I assume everybody or most people know this stuff. But there are a few things that I don't share is because it's like I'm protecting it. It's like I don't want any other influence around certain things. And that was one of the blockages. So